see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself.
Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carolyn. Happy birthday to you. Are you a little surprised? Speech. By the way, this is all, she's standing behind that woman there. That's all her fault right there. Sneaky. Yeah.
A lot of people's. I know.
On which we humans live, from the level of the flesh up through the level of the mind to the level of the spirit. And it seems to me that the realists live down there in the bottom three levels, and the idealist is up at the top. So somebody who's an idealistic realist is an idealistic realist, or if it's the other way around, they may be a realistic idealist. That's just the first little part of what I want to say. You, I salute and will toast in a minute an idea, in my opinion, an idealistic realist. You have both, the best of all possible worlds, and the other thing is the planets. The planets go around the sun. They're predictable, reliable, responsible, and the comets streak across the sky, never to be seen, sometimes never to be seen again. But you are a planet-like human being. You're an idealistic, you're responsible, reliable, dependable, just like the planets are, and you're also an idealistic realists or realistic idealists, I salute and toast you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, too.
Neil and Tommy were here. Yeah, Neil and Tommy.
Oh, there's the other guy.
Anyway, for all of you who made this wonderful event happen for a wonderful lady who has been actually my mentor for very many years. Although the first person I think I met when I came here was Martin Myers. Carolyn was among the second or third. And her dedication to this revelation has just always impacted me. And her friendship, and even in the times when my mother, who has been suffering with Alzheimer's, would call me and say, try this or do this, it was just so special to me. So, to Carolyn, my friend and mentor, I toast you. Thank you.
Here, here.
A few words to say. Perhaps the greatest, most meritorious appellation that can be given to any person, cosmic citizen, is good and faithful servant. So I salute you, Carolyn Kendall, as a good and faithful daughter of God.
Here, here. For a long time. And we've done different dances for almost half a century. 50 years ago, when Diane, my daughter Diane's mother, was dying, Carolyn was at her bedside. And a little while after that, she danced at my wedding. And when I was a young bride, she'd come to my house for New Year's Eve, and then a little while after that, I'd go to her house with Pepper for New Year's Eve. And then Tom was president of the foundation, and I was working here, and Carolyn would be here, and we worked together on conferences together. Bowdoin, Green Lake, George Williams, and we were on the executive committee of the Brotherhood together during exciting times, the 7th printing of the Urantia book, and other exciting times.
That's very exciting times.
In the middle 80s, we were there together. And then the dance changed a little bit, and Tom wasn't on the foundation, and I came in that
Tom.
place. Yes.
And also on the general council.
I know. And then we worked together. She worked for a company that was a client of mine, and we had common clients, and then she worked with me in my office. We had common caregivers. The men who took care of her husband Tom, and my dad Pepper, and my mom Claire, same guys with them all at their moment of death. And we have another partner that we have danced with over the years, Marilyn. And we usually plan events together, Marilyn, Carolyn, and I. Sorry you weren't in on this one, honey. You missed out. And now we have a women's group, the three of us are doing, with women in every generation from the teens, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 80s.
Not 80 yet.
God bless you.
Covered so much history together that it'll always be remembered for me, and I hope it will be for you. I think of you as a cosmic citizen of the First Order, and I hope we have the chance to serve in many capacities in our futures. To my friend.
To Carolyn.
Well, the toast I'd like to offer is just to motherhood, and a very good mother is at that. You know, we had a very nice home household, and of course not everybody has that. We did. It was a very warm and loving household, and we have my mother here and my dad to thank for that. So a toast to a very fine mother.
It turns out well.
Decided that 5 trustees was not enough. That we didn't have enough wisdom to really execute what we needed to do here at Urantia Foundation. And so we said to ourselves, why don't we expand the pool of wisdom? And the first person that Richard Keeler and I unanimously agreed that should be part of our conversation was this lady. And she represents for us, as trustees of this sacred institution and of this revelation, a fount of wisdom, a quality of goodwill, matchless goodwill, abounding love, and unfailing forgiveness. She represents the cream of what it means to be a student of the Urantia book. And so for me, you are forever in my heart and forever part of my life and my adventure. And I thank you, and I bless you, and I toast you.
I would like to tell a brief anecdotal story, and I'm going to entitle it, As Carolyn Passed By. Within the first couple months that I had started reading the Urantia book, I had read, jumping around, I had read the passage that nothing of value is ever lost in the universe. And my young Urantia book mind said, oh, well, you know, yeah, it's not important that I go on because anything of value that I have done or whatever will not be lost. It will go. And Carolyn, when I shared that with Carolyn, my new First Society friend, she paused and said, Mrs. As she passed by, she just said, but he wants you, pointing at me. That inspired me above and beyond what I can tell to strive and continue and develop. And I have often come back to that phrase, but he wants you, because Carolyn said it as she passed by.
Here, here.
I'm David Kulicki, for those who don't know me. I think my friendship with Carolyn probably is a really good demonstration of a lot of what's good about the Urantia movement. I don't mean my part of it, but I've known her since I was an infant because my parents, who were older than she, were very good friends of hers, and so I would be over at her house as child of someone who knew Carolyn in the Urantia movement, and they've gone on, but now Marilyn and I are friends with Carolyn, so it doesn't have to be a specific generational thing to be able to find somebody with whom you can become very close within the Urantia movement. And we've had a lot of time together in our society and our study groups, and she rides with us on the way to coming to study groups in the city, and every now and then we'll ask her questions about some of the old-time things, and she'll say, well, I can't tell you about that, and then she opens like a clam and tells us anything we want to know. Recently, because she was running out of material, she started making things up, but we kind of ran with it anyway. And the novel will be out in the fall. I think some of the stories have to do with, there's a wonderful tradition in this building of, especially if you're coming here and you're 10 years old, of the old ladies. And I'm not talking about you, but this place used to be populated, I don't know, was it 40, 50, 120 ladies beyond the age of consent, and they were here all the time. And Carolyn would tell us stories about people like Marion Raleigh, who, and Eva, and of course Christy more than anybody else. But I bet you didn't think you'd become the matriarch of the movie, to whom everybody looks up. See,
I was always the baby.
Now you're a legend. But you know, just remember, we're all cosmic infants. And so the next step is there's a lot ahead of us, and don't get too swelled up by 80 years old. We've got a long way to go.
I'm Cece Forrester. I'm from Chicago, and I have been to Salvington many more times than I could count. And by that I don't mean the capital of the local universe. I mean the Kendall home on Salvington Place. And you know, The neat thing about that household is every time you go there, it's all arranged differently. It's never the same place twice.
Chaos, too.
No, she has so many interesting ideas how to arrange things, every one better than the last. And she has the most friendly little canine creatures you can ever imagine. That's also the constant. But also, as David mentioned, she gives us a lot of background, a lot of wisdom. And Carolyn has been so encouraging to me every time I attempt to express myself with my thoughts. So I really appreciate that, Carolyn, and happy birthday.
Wonderful writer.
I remember you 40 years ago. 30
remember you
years,
40 years
30
ago,
years
too.
ago.
Good for you.
And all those years, I cannot ever picture you not working for the Revelation, for one of the organizations. You've given your life to the organization. And today, Carolyn came to the trustee meeting, where she comes every quarter on Friday, long meetings, and helps guide us at all of these meetings. This many years later, this woman is giving her heart and her love. You're a wonderful person. You've been a personal mentor to me. You have helped our organization and other organizations keep all of their wheels on the ground. You've been a terrific historian too. At the trustee level and in our meetings, oftentimes we'll get into an area that we really need a good historical understanding and wisdom so we don't make a mistake or repeat an error. And Carolyn is that voice of love and wisdom and good counsel. And the fact that you were here today, and I know you'll be here again in January, that you keep giving, you're the best. You're an inspiration. And we'll all be so lucky if we turn out half as good as you, Carolyn. And here is a present from us. And it's a shawl. And we've given it to you because when you put it on and you're cold, this is going to wrap you with love, and it's love from all your friends here.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And some cards, and no, that's beer. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
We love you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Well, this was a surprise. Except I knew something was happening when Hank Milanis on Skype said, "Happy birthday." I said, how did you know it was my birthday? He said, "Everybody in France knows it's your birthday." Well, Hank needs to maybe turn the TV computer off and go to bed or something. But anyway, I was surprised. And I have to tell you that it's in this building that I think it was probably the most exciting day of my life, October 12th, 1951, that I came to the third floor. Dr. Sadler greeted me with his one good eye. He said, when I sat down, he said, "Look at this eye, the other eye's a fooler." And he told me the story of the birth and evolution of the Urantia papers. And I believed it. I believed him. And I began reading that very day the Stoles of Christ Michael. And I thought, I know all of this. My dad had been indoctrinating me all of my life. And I knew it was true, it felt true, and I was so grateful for this wonderful opportunity and to meet people like all of you. You're the cream of the planet. And thank you so much. You'll never know how much this means.
They're here.
Guess who he was named after?
Oh, wow.
Tom.
Hi.
Tom Crawford.
Wow.
I got more like him too.
Your baby.
This is way beyond what your husband has.
Well, then I can make a crude comment when they're probably married for the third time.
Oh, we already
Jim. That second one.
It would be more of a shock.
Allez, mon beau Richard.
Put it on. Let's see it.
Allez, mon beau. Beau Richard.
Oh, what a handsome dude. Completely different man.